Did you know that in Baby in Yellow, you can find a very familiar book? So this is the Necronomicon, or the Book of the Dead, an evil book that can be seen in the Evil Dead movies. Hello and welcome to another episode of Video Game Easter Eggs, the series where we take a look at some of the latest and not so latest Easter eggs in video games. Don't forget to leave a like on this video, and if you do, I promise that the knocking sound that you hear on your window at night will definitely stop. Anyway, without further delay, let's get started. Now, when you play a licensed game, you kind of expect to see references to that license in the game. I mean, you don't play the Shrek game and never see Shrek. Saying that, there are certain occasions when a game references the source material in a really cool way. In Star Wars Outlaws, you can visit the famous Mos Eisley Cantina, where you can overhear this conversation.
Don't sit there, that booth is cursed.
Oh, one of your superstitions again. Or never cut through a bantha crossing, spit after you see a mirage or it's bad luck, throw sand over your shoulder before you sell water.
This isn't a superstition. Everyone who sits in that booth gets shot. You want that to be your final resting place? Be my guest.
So the pair discuss how sitting in that chair is bad luck, as whoever sits there usually dies. And judging by this blaster mark on the wall, I think they might be onto something. However, this is the same seat that Han Solo sat in Star Wars A New Hope, where this famous scene played out.
Yeah, Oscar.
Yes, I bet you have.
So the blaster mark on the wall is where Greedo took a shot at Han Solo, only to miss. Like I said, you do expect to see these sort of things in licensed games, but this one is pretty cool. Oh, and whilst we're on Tatooine, you can also visit the hut of the Lars family. Better known as aunt and uncle of Luke Skywalker, their home was raided by Imperial stormtroopers who killed the pair and burnt their bodies. Now, we can't find the bodies here, but we can speak to a couple of nearby looters who shed some light on the situation.
Find anything good?
You're late. We're late too.
All the best stuff's been taken already. Barely anything left.
What happened here? Seems extreme, even for bandits.
Empire. They do this thing with dissidents. Drag them out and burn it all down.
Looks like a moisture farm, not a hidden spy base.
That's because it was a moisture farm, but they crossed the Empire somehow.
This place has already been picked clean. Let's go.
Personally, I like how this NPC is so distraught about what she's found that she can't bear to look at Kay. Some of you may think that's a glitch, but it's definitely not. Now, in the last episode of this series, we discovered Link from The Legend of Zelda sleeping on the job in Just Crow Things. Well, it turns out that Link isn't the only Nintendo character that can be found in the game. Though I think it's safe to say that this Nintendo character isn't quite as well known as our pointy-eared friend. On the Big Apple level, you can find this guy. So this is Ness, the silent protagonist of the 1994 Super Nintendo RPG Earthbound, though I know him from his appearances in the Super Smash Bros. Games. Ness is an expert on baseball bats as they could be picked up and used in Earthbound, and that's why you should listen to him, as charging your swing when holding the baseball bat is pretty damn effective. Now, believe it or not, Modern Warfare 2019 had some of the best Easter eggs of any game in recent years. Every time a new multiplayer map was added to the game, there was a good chance that there was a cool secret that was added along with it. Since then, the new Call of Duty games have neglected multiplayer map Easter eggs, but the last couple of maps added to Modern Warfare 3 give me hope for Black Ops 6. First up, on the bait map, you and a friend will need to mount up at this photo board. Unfortunately, I don't have friends, so I asked my son to help. Anyway, after mounting up, this will happen. So 15 rubber ducks will spawn, and you and your friend/son have to shoot the ducks as quickly as possible. Now, the spawns for these ducks aren't set, so my 15 may be different to your 15, but they do only appear on this part of the map. So as long as you're paying attention, they shouldn't be too hard to find. Anyway, after shooting the 15th and final duck, this will happen. So a giant rubber duck will appear in the water, ready to avenge the 15 ducklings that you just mercilessly slaughtered. The next Modern Warfare 3 multiplayer map Easter egg can be found on Drive-Thru. This map is a nightmare for anyone who has a fear of clowns. And if you happen to have a fear of both clowns and ducks, then this Easter egg definitely isn't for you. In the middle of the map you can find a carousel, and on top of the carousel is a giant carton of fries. To activate this Easter egg, you first need to stop the carousel by pressing this button, and then jump on the 4 carousel rides. So that's 2 cars and 2 clown sofas. After jumping on the last one, this will happen. Like I said, if you hate clowns and ducks, this must be the scariest thing that you've ever seen. Oh, and by the way, I wasn't joking about having no one to help while I record certain things. So if you want to lend a hand every once in a while, add me using the usernames on screen. I have notifications turned off so they don't pop up when recording, but send a message along with a friend request and I'll add you at some point. Now, I'm sure that we all have gaps in our gaming history that we aren't proud of. Perhaps you've never played a GTA game, or maybe you've never played Half-Life. Well, something that I'm ashamed to admit is that I've never played Hollow Knight. And to be honest, I don't even know what kind of game it is. Now, with that shocking revelation in mind, even I recognise this next Easter egg. In Junk World, you can find this guy, just chilling on a mushroom. Google reliably informs me that this is the Knight, the main character from Hollow Knight. Like I said, even though I've never played the game, I recognised him almost immediately. So Vladimir Brutal is what would happen if Half-Life, Metro and the Stalker games all got together and had a baby. Just don't ask me how that would work. Releasing in August of this year, Vladimir Brutal is... well, it's brutal. Everything bleeds way more than it should, and after you've cleared out a bunch of enemies, blood will just drip from the ceiling. Still, don't let its goriness fool you into thinking that it's a one-trick pony. Vladimir Brutal is a very competent first-person shooter and one that is definitely worth your time, especially given its budget price. Now, when the game begins, you're released from your cell, which isn't as good as you think. As you take your first step to freedom, a guard will nudge you in the right direction. The only problem is that we need to get behind this guard to find an Easter egg. Now, at first, I tried to jump over him, with very little success. Instead, I baited the guard down the hallway, which created the opening I needed. The only problem is that the door is locked. Well, you know what they say, persistence beats resistance. So let's keep trying the door. So eventually the door will open, leading us to a very strange room. I mean, I'm not entirely sure what the point of this room is. You can find the in-game president, who I'm guessing is a reference to former Soviet Union leader Mikhail Gorbachev, a weird cube, and a desk. That's it. There's nothing else you can do here, which makes me wonder why the guard was so determined to keep us out. Now, after leaving the prison, you arrive at a mysterious facility, where we can find a scientist hard at work. Or is he? If we use NoClip and take a look at what he's working on, we can see that his computer is full of games like Euro Truck Simulator, Borderlands 2, Minecraft, and more. So the final Easter egg is probably the reason that most of you click this video. Well, that is if I chose it as the thumbnail, which I probably did. Anyway, during level 21, you can find a bathroom with a whole bunch of toilets. Okay, there's 6 toilets, but that's more than your average household. Anyway, you need to shoot these 6 toilets, and more often than not, nothing happens. Though on very rare occasions, this will happen. I mean, I'm surprised it's taken a game this long to reference Skibidi Toilet. Anyway, shooting the head in a toilet will cause it to grow in size before this happens. So that's it. At the time of recording this video, I'm 90,000 subscribers away from 1 million, which is crazy when you consider I don't show my face and make videos about Easter eggs. So if you could subscribe and help me reach that frankly ridiculous number, it would mean a lot. If you think you know something that I haven't featured before, then be sure to leave it in the comments down below and you'll be featured in the credits of a future video. And as always, I'll speak to you all soon.